What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna be reviewing the new Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
Hey, we were waiting on this film. This
We
one,
were.
for us, it was this one and then Oppenheimer coming up.
Oh,
those are our
yes.
two. Those were the two big movies we've been waiting on this year.
We've been waiting on those for a minute. I've been wanting to see Mission Impossible since Fallout came out. I've just been waiting, because Fallout was so incredible.
Yeah.
Fallout was amazing.
Right.
And I've just been waiting for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and we finally got to see it.
You only had to wait like 8 years. I mean, how long? It's
No,
been
it was
a
like
long.
it was
2018.
Like, yeah, it was like 3
All
or
right.
4 years. But
So we saw it. We saw it last night.
Yes, sir.
And so we're gonna give you our review.
spoilers in 3, 2, 1. If you don't want spoilers, leave the video. All right, here we go. So, what did you think about? I'm gonna get into it. What did you think about his girlfriend Elsa dying in the movie? What did
You just gonna go straight to that?
I'm gonna go straight
There's
to
a lot
it.
of different.
I don't
stuff.
care. I'm going straight to it.
I kind of figured that this being a part 2 series, somebody was gonna die.
Yeah,
So I was
because we're
already
getting
thinking
late
that.
into. I thought Luther was gonna die,
I
or
thought
Benji.
I was thinking it was going to be Luther too.
Luther or
So I
Benji.
figured somebody
We're
was
far
going
into the series.
I was thinking somebody was going to die, and I was kind of surprised that it was her, but it shouldn't have been. I think they gave her a good death. I mean, if you're going to have a good death on screen, they gave her a good one. Her fight scene was awesome.
Yeah.
She was. They were fighting at level 25 the whole match. They were like
They were
fighting
going
like
crazy.
the Matrix.
Yeah, it was kind
They
of
were
Matrix.
like they were too good. Like counter, kung fu, counter.
Yeah, but I
And-
like the new girl, Grace, that they brought in. Grace is a much better character, I think, than Elsa was, and I'm glad she's now, I guess, the new girl. She literally took her spot in the MIF team.
You like Grace better?
Yeah, I like Grace better than Elsa.
And you're okay with Elsa being taken out. The problem with Elsa is, man, they didn't build her emotionally, so I don't think it's a big emotional loss. Like with Benji, even
It
in
was
this
supposed
movie,
to be, though.
Like every time Luther talks, he looks like he's about to cry. So you feel
I like
emotionally
Luther.
connected to
Yeah.
Luther.
Yeah.
And whenever Benji's doing the bomb, he's like, I don't want to say it, friends. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, you're like, I get you, Benji, but with her, she never got to really be. She was more like a Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Character, like an assassin character. She held all her feelings and emotions together.
I could see
So
that.
I think that's why her death wasn't as impactful. But if you're a female in his movie, be ready. There's a good chance you're not making it out alive.
Yeah.
A lot of them females do not make it out of his
That's
films
true.
alive. All right,
What about Grace? She probably going, ooh, she might not make it through the next one. You don't last
She
long.
might not.
You
She
don't
might
last long
not.
in those. But yeah.
Well, we talked about it a little bit after we saw it, but let's go through, little bit of the scenes. What did you think
Like
about the desert scene? The opening scene.
That was pretty cool. I thought that was really well done. I liked the Desert Storm and the outfits they were wearing. They looked really cool. And I thought Elsa was dead out in the desert. I was like, did she just die? But
Yeah.
she was alive.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was that was cool out there. It was quick. I forgot about it, but it was cool though.
No, the desert scene was really good.
It was short.
It was short, but all that fighting and everything going on, they established, Ethan right out the gate that, he can handle any situation.
What about the airport scene? I like that scene a lot. That was really good.
The airport scene, yeah, that's their next really big action scene. Really, that scene, it's interesting because in Fallout they kind of have not a full airport. They have an airport. That's where he breaks his ankle, right? He's running at an airport in Fallout.
Well, I don't think it was an airport, but he jumped from a building to another building and broke his ankle in the last movie.
I think he's chasing that guy to a helicopter. Well,
Oh
anyway,
yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of reminiscence to that, but I really, really liked it. And of course, all the technology with the face, and then the entity was using the security to change the faces faster than they could, and all of that. I thought that was super cool. And the way that he runs into and they introduce Grace in that scene.
Yeah, that was really cool. But what'd you think about the key that being used the entire movie? The entire plot of the movie comes down to a house key. What do you think about
I think the key is good, but I don't think it was. Now this is where we start really critiquing. Like, okay, what about the film, was, could have been maybe a little better or not?
I think that key could have been cool. Like the
I
last movie had plutonium in it, where they had 3 balls of plutonium, and you had to have all 3 to make the bomb go off. And I thought that was way cooler and way higher stakes than this one. because I mean, the key is not as cool as the plutonium. Number one, and number two, they never told us what the key unlocks. So I don't know what everyone's fighting for. I don't know what the
True.
stakes truly are. I mean, I understand that the AI is a huge threat, but I don't know the full potential of, what they're fighting against.
Because you know why? Because in the first one, I mean, in Fallout, not the first one, the previous movie, the terrorist had let out the smallpox.
Yeah.
So he had already did something to scare everybody.
Yeah,
so
and
you
in
already
the last,
knew.
and in Rogue Nation, he was messing stuff up too. In Rogue Nation, he was the villain in that as well. So he did have a 2-movie series, But,
Yeah. So you kind of knew what
yeah.
that guy was up to, but with the AI, we never got to see what it would do. We didn't see what the entity would actually do.
And the AI never had a cool look. Like you never got to see the AI, and kind of
Just the circle, kind of the.
It did have a really cool scene though, where he started talking as Benji. That was really cool. I wish he would have did more stuff like that. Remember the AI?
Yeah, he told
him where to
Tom.
run. That was really cool. I really liked that.
I think that
He talked about which way do I go? He was just running the dead wrong way.
Well, then what about what do you guys think? Do you think the villain was strong enough being just the machine? Because the only other person the machine had was Gabriel.
Yeah.
And making Gabriel come back from an earlier film and then be in this one in cahoots with the mastermind. And I don't have a problem with the enemy being a machine, like whether it's Terminator or even with Doctor Who. He's got to fight the Daleks are machines, cyborgs. But I don't mind having that. They just didn't really explain enough to make it scary.
Yeah, they didn't tell us enough. And so they're all fighting for the key the entire movie. And another thing that was a bit of got
we talked about this,
was the pickpocketing. I mean, come on, you can only pickpocket so many times in a movie.
Right. So they used that shtick a lot. Once they established that Grace was a pickpocket, basically that turned the plot every time they needed it to be turned. Like if they wanted you to go right or they wanted you to go left, she just put it in that particular pocket and then the plot went in that direction.
Yeah, like that's kind of lazy writing a little bit to me. Like you can't just base the whole thing around pickpocketing, because she probably did it about 10 times in the movie. Tom probably did it about 3 times. I mean, everyone was just, because it's a little key. So
because there's not that every time that they're doing that as the plot device, it takes away from Benji and Luther doing things to solve things or to move things.
Yes, Benji and Luther kind of got sidelined because the AI just destroyed them. They had no role. Almost.
And I don't mind him destroying them, but like we were talking whenever we realized that that whenever Benji and them realized that, we can't trust anybody but in this room, and he's like, here, take this little earpiece, we're going on a different signal, radio signal, TV signal that, he's not going to be able to manipulate and use it. But the problem with that is that wasn't cool enough. Like we talked about, it would have been so funny to see him like running with a backpack and been like, zzz, and pull out a big giant
like a World
radio.
War II.
Yeah.
Like he's got the antenna. Hello.
You
the
hear
backpack.
me?
That would have been great. Like they were forced to use like 50s, 60s type of
like
technology.
drive around in like a van that's like a TV van with the satellite on
the phone where you gotta, you know what I'm talking about, the rotary.
I was hoping for stuff like that.
Instead he was like, here's an analog earbud.
Yeah, that was strange. And then,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah, that's easy
for the for the writing.
Yeah.
But
another thing was the yellow car chase scene was quite incredible.
The chase scene. Let's give it up for nowadays, man.
That was great.
But the thing is, remember I said, in my opinion, you got to compare it to the movies of its era. That's this summer. You have to compare. First, that scene was amazing.
Yes.
Was it better than Fallout? Was it better than the
motorcycle chase scene?
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
Yeah, and the motorcade.
Actually, I think.
What about the motorcade scene when the truck goes into the water and
so good.
I know.
But I think this chase scene was better than the motorcycle chase scene in Fallout. I think because this chase scene was really good, and plus he was with Grace. And they were they had great chemistry. I'm telling you,
they had to drive each
Ethan
other
and Grace
like that.
had great chemistry throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
They could have a whole movie together at this point. They
really could. Yeah, that scene was pretty incredible. The way they were driving and everything.
Yeah,
And
that
it's-
was great. And then you had the girl in the
Asian
insurgent in the what's it called?
Yeah, she was
GTA Insurgent
She was,
driving around.
yeah. We thought her
name is
character,
Paris, by the
We
way.
thought her character needed maybe a little bit more backstory, maybe a little bit more, like Tarantino, like in Kill Bill when that girl's going crazy with the chain. Like we needed a moment to establish how awesome she was. Because we really didn't. All we saw at that point was she's there and she's driving a car and she's laughing maniacally some.
Yeah.
And that wasn't enough for me to know her.
I was waiting the whole movie to have a great like a great battle between Ethan and Paris, I believe is her name. And I don't think we ever got that scene because we get the fighting scene with her in the alley fighting, which is okay, but I mean, you can't really see her full fighting potential because you're in a little 3-foot alley. And you can't even film it very well because you're in an alley. How well can you film in a alley that tight?
The alley
and
was...
they never even did above camera shot in the alley. That would have been a great camera shot. I never saw that.
No, they never did an above one. And to draw them into the alley, the entity to draw them there to fight, that was cool. However, if you have a martial artist who kicks, who can run and jump and flip and do stuff, and you put them in a little alley, you should have just put some goons in there to fight.
I did like that he spared her life and then later she saved him. I thought that was cool. I appreciate that. But yeah, what else was after all the stuff we just said?
So
what was the next scene? The train scene, I guess?
Yeah, moving towards the train scene. Then Luther just disappeared. So Luther even says, I gotta go. You're not gonna know where I'm at. You're not gonna know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which is like, bro, we might need you during this part, dude. I mean, this is gonna
this
get
is the
heavy.
climax of the movie.
Didn't he just disarm a nuclear bomb?
Yeah.
I mean, he just totally did that.
Yeah.
It wasn't one, but he was like he was talking to Ethan, and they were disarming the bomb.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
It was a great
really
scene.
Good.
It was a great scene, but the point is, then Luther thinks he can just leave, and Ethan doesn't need him. I'm thinking after what just happened, you might need to be on point.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the I guess the train scene, or no, let's talk about the villain actually. Let's talk about I don't know his name, but the main villain
Gabriel.
of the movie, Gabriel. Let's talk about him real quick. I thought Gabriel was. Let's compare him to the last movie's villain. I think the last movie's villain was way better than this villain. This guy has like the
kind of a GQ look.
Yeah, the one from the last movie had real like
grit.
Yeah, like he was kind of
like homeless looking. Like his beard looked right. He looked like he would break a bottle and go. He looked like the guy, and he actually did that in the last film. He looked like a guy.
So I think Gabriel, I just think he was not as good as the last villain. It's just that simple. He lacked the evilness. I think he lacked the I don't know, the stage presence.
Right, and the grit and the, like I said, he kind of looked like the other guy kind of looked like he got his clothes at a thrift shop. He kind of had a crusty beard.
He had that.
He looked like he'll break a bottle and get you.
This one, look, I think he kind of looked like George Clooney a little bit. That. He was a little George Clooney looking.
He was very.
He had the perfect stubble.
I like that actor, and I think that actor could play a much more evilly type of person. But he was very cleaned up. And here's the thing, man: would the entity let everything ride on one dude? I mean, wouldn't he have he have soldiers? Like, wouldn't he have a group of people?
Yeah,
I'm thinking, he's just trying to time things. The entity's like, oh no, all I need you to do is exactly what I say, and we don't need to do more than this.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the train scene now.
Train scene is incredible. I mean,
let's talk about him driving up that mountain. He's trying to get on the train. He won't. The train won't stop. That was so cool the way he drove up the mountain.
Yeah.
He had Benji in his ear.
Yeah.
And Benji was like, "Oh yeah, turn left here." He was like, "Wait, there's a mountain right here." He was like, "Well, get to the train." It was just great chemistry, great stuff going on.
Benji's such a cool character.
He is. Benji's great, and he had some great lines in the movie, even though he was limited from the AI. But then Tom Cruise drives off that mountain and just goes crazy. That is stunt of the year. There's not a stunt except for the stunt falling down the stairs in John Wick. But I mean, this is
that is a good stunt.
This is better.
We've said, listen, at the Academy Awards, honestly, hey, make a petition out there, people. They need an award for best stunt of the year.
Yes, we need that.
Stuntmen deserve to be awarded with an award.
Yes. But this year, I think it would be Tom.
Yeah,
I think so.
Tom would.
I think it would be Tom
that
this year.
stunt was nice.
It was beautiful.
It was cool.
But it was so short. Like I wish they would have.
I like the parachute behind him when they got that shot behind him falling. And it was like, I mean, I can see why they had to do it like 6 times. I wonder if there was a separate motorcycle behind. I didn't ever watch the behind the scenes. So when he jumps, does another motorcycle jump and
No, it's a
and film?
drone.
It's a drone. Yeah. See, that's my older generation thinking. I didn't think of a drone first.
Yeah, so they did that incredible stunt. I'll give credit where it is due. That was beautiful. But then we're now on the train. This is where the plot holes start to really come in.
Yeah.
So he lands, instead of landing on the train and with the doom, 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 land on the train, running, doing what he's doing what he's got to do.
That's what I was expecting.
He flies through the wall of the train just at the perfect spot of the perfect cart on the train.
At the
to
perfect
hit the
moment
guy.
when the guy was killing Grace. I mean, my goodness.
I mean, that is some terrible writing right there. I can't even lie to you.
No.
That's awful. I mean, that's Fast and Furious stuff. We expect better from Mission Impossible. This is high quality.
Yeah,
this is not that low
that
quality
was
stuff.
too contrived, too lucky,
That's too much.
Yeah.
I get if he somehow like got in there and then his parachute went out the window somehow and his parachute pulled him back and he hit the guy, maybe. But then
Right.
he gets in, right? So he slams through the wall. Then his parachute pulls him back out and he knocks somebody else out. So it's just two back to back, just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, twice he does.
Yeah.
Miraculous things happen twice, and it's more fitting for Tom Cruise in this type of a movie to come down, slam into the side of the train, not nail the landing. Ethan would not nail the landing because it too many variables. He would slam into the train. He would get his hands, and then his parachute would begin to pull him to kill him, and he'd have to cut. There would be all that drama.
Yeah,
kind of like when he got on the airplane. He's holding on to the airplane. It's not perfect. He's not like, hold on a second, let me just climb up in here. Okay, good. It's like, bro, you're about to get off right here.
Yeah, but that didn't happen in this one, not really. But
the train scene. The cool thing about the train scene is that they allowed the arms broker to act as 2 different people. So she got to be herself. They brought her back from Fallout, and then
she had a big role in this one.
And then she got to be the masked version of herself. So as an actress, she really got to show herself off, and it was very believable. When she was acting like she was like when it was supposed to be Grace. It was very believable. I really felt like that was Grace.
It was. She did a great job.
It's like she's an actress or something.
Yeah, she did a great job. The
tension was high. That was one good thing about the key is that the tension's high because it's a small item, right? It's so easy for it to slip, fall, move, put in a pocket, and all that. And that's good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish there would have been a little bit more tech involved. And then so once he crashes in there, one of the things we said was, I mean, wouldn't he have been carrying a little more weapons on him?
That's true. He landed
he didn't have a pocket here.
I don't think he even had a knife. He just landed on the train and he had nothing. He would have been carrying at least a pistol.
I don't think that he would have entered that mission that unarmed.
There was ninja star.
There's no reason. Most of the time they explain why he can't do it. Like they're like, you can't carry anything in because there's metal detectors.
Yeah.
Like they'll give an explanation. But in this one, he could have went in there with body armor. Like literally. So that's a little bit, But they kept the body count down.
Another thing though, when Ethan leaves the train, he said Luther left a parachute on the train for him. How did Luther get that parachute there? Remember? Because he opened the box and he was like, "Thank you, Luther."
I thought that because Luther told him, "I'm packing you 2 chutes in that one bag. One was for a particular type of flight." He gave him 2 scenarios.
Yeah, but
one's fast and one's slow.
But there was a box on the train with the chute in it. Like, how did that box get there?
I thought he looked in his chute and he noticed there was another thing. And he was like, "Oh, thank you, Luther."
Maybe.
At least I remember him saying there's 2 chutes.
Probably. But let's talk about the best scene. Well, actually, before we get to the best scene, let's talk about Gabriel. When his fight with Gabriel on top of the train.
Man,
so that was a cool fight. But
that fight scene. Listen, there's a lot of fight scenes on top of trains. I mentioned this. It was very odd. There was a lot of reminiscent things from other films. Like it was strange that they had. What are the chances Indiana Jones has a big opening train scene or a train scene, and then a fight on top of the train. And this one has a train and a fight on top of the train. We noticed a bunch of parallels. Indiana Jones had a scene where they're driving weird cars. This one, they're driving weird cars.
The scene in Fast and Furious where the ball's rolling, they drove down the same staircase. I think.
Yeah,
the same city.
I think it was the
but
same.
There are
city.
things like
That's
that.
so strange. But as far as this is a standalone, okay, we're having a fight scene on top of a train that's been done 1,000 times. It wasn't that dynamic.
Nah,
yes, they were
was,
dodging.
It was a bit basic to me.
They were
fighting,
dodging. Shoo, shoo, shoo,
it was cool. It was cool. It was a good fight scene. But then another plot hole, in my opinion. He jumps off the train at the perfect time to land on the back of this garbage truck or something like that.
Right.
And just land off of the train going at what, 120, 110? Like, that thing's flying. And he just jumps off and lands on the truck and it's fine.
And I bet the entity could like, I think some type of super intelligence could do the math. I think it maybe
of course,
could.
I think it could.
But
he can't jump at the right time.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly. But can he because he did it with like perfect trust. I mean, think about it. If he was just off a couple seconds,
just half a second, he probably died.
So there was probably a cooler way to get him off the train.
Yeah, he could have like pulled a chute and then went flying or something.
Well, one of the things we liked a lot about Fallout is everything was so realistic. You know, like he could have just jumped off into a river, I guess, or something. I mean, that's the classic way to get off of a train. All right, so anyway, he does his trust fall. Yeah,
onto the garbage truck.
Yeah.
So
and then, I guess he has goons there to drive, or did he drive? Did he drive the truck there and park it? Like because he don't seem like he's got a whole crew.
He was in the back of the truck while it was driving, so he had a driver.
So
he had an Uber driver.
So he's got somebody somewhere helping him.
But he pulled the thing out. He was like, "Oh, Ethan!"
He did.
He hit the Star Wars
I did like that they exchanged it, but yeah, that is Ethan, like a con.
What's his name? Gabriel pulled out the lighter instead of the key because he thought he had the key, but it was the lighter, and he was like, "Ethan, you will pay for this." It was kind of goofy.
It's funny they didn't do it, but it'd be funny if it wouldn't have been surprised if they would have transitioned straight to Tom holding it and looking at it like, "Oh yeah, I did it." Yeah, and then of course the incredible train scene of the train.
The train falling one at a time. That was incredible.
Yeah, because of the use of real gravity, allowing like the dishes to rise.
You could tell the train was really that I don't know, in that angle. So they were really fighting against gravity.
You could tell they were in a set that was hanging and swinging. Like you could tell that it wasn't. It
was with Grace and Ethan, the two best chemistry.
And their
in the
chemistry was
movie.
great in that scene because and I like that they made Grace very realistic in the sense of she through most of the film was afraid, didn't know what to do,
because
wanted
she was
to just get out of there,
just being a thief. And then out of nowhere being put into Mission Impossible. I mean, it don't get bigger than that.
You'd be wanting to get out.
So she's way in over her head. Yeah. She don't know what to do.
I like how he's like, "You're gonna let go of me, and I'm gonna jump over there," and she can't let go of him. That was all very realistic. All that scene was so amazing.
She wanted him to drive.
However,
earlier.
What I said was, man, wouldn't it have been cool if that would have been the fight scene for Tom and Gabriel as it was falling? Them two are fighting on their way up.
Yeah,
that would have been cool if they would have been fighting on the way up. Boom, boom, fight, right?
Yeah.
They get to the top, and Tom hits him, and the thing falls, and then Tom reaches in his pocket to get the key out, but he don't have it, and somehow we see Gabriel actually got it at that moment. And then that would start the next movie because now at the end of this one they got the key. How is there something exciting about the next movie?
Yeah, that's true. They didn't really, honestly, for a part one, they didn't set it up that great for a part two, in my opinion, because he has the key. The good guys won.
Yeah. Now they're just going to race. They're going to race to the nuclear sub.
Yeah, that's true.
And that means they're going to have a bunch of sub stuff going on,
like under the ice. Yeah. I don't know how you can really make that too crazy. You can't run. You can't parachute.
Well, they made that sub scene really cool, so maybe they can make that scene cool.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, and then she gives her, I accept. She
joins the team.
She says, I accept. So now we got a new person on the team, and I think they're setting up a new Mission Impossible team with her, and I think that the black character who is with the U.S. Marshal or whatever they are. You remember he's with that guy, and he's like, maybe Ethan's not so bad, man. Maybe, if you really look at it. that guy I think is going to end up being able to say I accept too. That's kind of how I saw it going.
He had a small role though.
He did, but he also.
What did you think about the American agents? I thought
they to have two the whole time.
They were kind of annoying. They never did nothing.
That again is kind of like they made
there was
the
no
cast
one
too small because they would have had a SWAT team.
There was nobody in Fallout that had that annoying role of always being there, but always a second too late every single time. There was nobody in Fallout that had that role. It was just perfect.
They were always a second too late.
Yeah, every time they're like, "Oh, get them next time."
They were, "Oh, almost got you."
Yes, that's how the American agents were the whole movie.
Yeah, but, and they, think about it. If they were chasing him like that, they would have a crew.
Yeah,
they would have a crew. They would at least if there's 4 seats in the car, there's gonna be 4 people.
Yeah,
at the very least
2. But
yeah. But overall, again, it does not take away from the entertainment. The only way that I could possibly have this critiques is that they already had a movie that was near perfect.
It was pretty much perfect.
Fallout was perfect.
Fallout was beautiful.
Tell us I wanted to be ready for this, so I watched Fallout like 3 nights ago before I saw the new movie.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That that helped me in one way because it helped me see Elsa and helped me understand.
Definitely before you watch Dead Reckoning, watch Fallout.
But it hurt me because
it's so good.
Yeah, it was so good. So tell us, what do you think? If you've seen a lot of people have seen all the Mission Impossibles, where does this one rank?
Yeah. Let us know. I think personally,
like,
it's not better than Fallout.
Top Gun 2 is clearly better than Top Gun 1.
Oh,
I mean, dude, it's a better film. It's
way better.
It's executed better,
Yeah.
And this one, that's what I was kind of thinking they were going to do, and they didn't quite do it. So
I thought this was going to be a huge step above Fallout. I thought it was going to be just significantly better and just improve on everything Fallout did. But I think this did not do that. But I think it was honestly maybe a tiny step down from Fallout. But still is a great movie. But Fallout was just too good.
This year has been the summer of sequels. You had Transformers, you had Indiana Jones, and you had Fast and Furious, and you had John Wick. So the ones that did it right, who did it the best as the sequel?
Was pretty good.
If we don't say John Wick, then I would say this is the best execution of a sequel this year. But John Wick.
Yeah, we're gonna leave John Wick out of the question, out of this one.
Yeah.
But well, John Wick, it had just 1, 2, 3, 4. It built off of everything perfectly. It gets better and better.
Well, yeah, it goes back to how the small disappointments or the small. Well, would that have really happened to this character? Well, would that have? And each one of these movies kind of have a little bit of that going.
This movie. Dead Reckoning definitely had it to a high degree.
Compared to Indiana Jones, this movie is flawless. Indiana Jones, the whole movie, you're going, they did that. Holes. Why did they do that?
There are plot holes in Indiana Jones. But this one had it too. But it doesn't ruin the movie, and it's still really good. I think they did have a little too much talking. What did you think? I think there's a lot of talking just for kind of not even saying much, just talking.
There is a lot of talking.
It's like 2.5 hours. It could easily be 2:15 2 hours. Still a great movie. But what do you think you have a final rating for?
I definitely have one. I mean, from a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a solid 7. I think at times it bumps itself up. If it was a meter, there's 8 and 9s and then back down and then there's back
Are we
up.
doing point or are we doing just
You can do like 7.5.
Okay, I'm thinking around 7.5 for my rating, but if we're doing just 7, 8, 9, I'd give it a 7. So I think we're right at the same spot.
Yeah.
And what would
because there was room for improvement.
What would you give Fallout though? The last movie, I think I'd give it a 9 or 10.
I mean, honestly, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of anything that I think that I wish they would have did differently. And honestly, I'm gonna get that thing a 10.
Like, honestly, I go 10
I mean, I just don't.
Perfect.
I don't. I mean, they because they outwrote the audience. Like they thought of everything, explained everything, and I didn't go away with one question like, why did they do this and why did they do that? I went away thinking, man, that was really a brilliant script.
Yeah, I think it was really good.
The
last one was good. This one was really good as well. I think you guys should go check it out if you have not seen it.
Oh, like we said, I would see it again. It's super entertaining. The only reason I went that far into the critiques is because it's just fun to do that.
It's our movie review, you know.
Yeah.
So if we have critiques on it and we see plot holes, we're gonna point them out, you know. But we did also point out what we loved about it, which was that car chase scene, the train scene, that
chemistry between Grace.
Music was great.
really good. We didn't highlight the music, and you mentioned that.
I think they should have had more music in the movie. Like if you watch the movie, listen during the fight scenes. A lot of them, there's no music. Like during that yellow car chase scene, there's not much music being played. And during the train scene, like there's the whole train scene where it's falling, it's quiet. There's no music.
Really?
Yeah, go watch
just
it.
went for that.
You just hear it falling. You just hear
Yeah.
the train falling. Like think back. There's no music in that scene. And their theme is so good. I need that blasting every second, like Michael Myers' theme. I need that. Dun, 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 dun,
You want
dun, dun,
like
dun.
every moment, like somebody's in a house getting like a drink, and you hear the Michael Myers
dun.
music.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just always grinding it.
Yeah, I wanted
Mission
that for this
Impossible
movie.
music is that good.
It is. They should have did that
For
this one.
real.
But yeah.
All right, well, let us know what you guys think about the review. If you guys, which film in the Mission Impossible series you think is the best? Is this one the best? Did you like the key as the main thing throughout the whole film? Are you looking forward to the next film? It's hard to walk out and know we gotta wait to see the next one.
Yep. But yeah. Hopefully the next one is gonna be a banger. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys thought about this movie. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see you guys in the next review, and we're out. Peace.